as I'm sure you already know by looking at the interior of what we're sitting in right now, you guys probably already understand that this is an IS300 that we're working on today. However, this is not the IS300 that I'm sure you guys are used to seeing if you've been watching the channel for a while. That's because I might have bought another one. And as I'm sure you guys can already tell, it's a little bit of a pile. So today we're going to be taking this thing apart. I'm going to kind of try to figure out what all I need to buy to get this thing fixed, and then we'll, strip this down to only good parts. I basically bought this thing because I'm planning on doing some pretty fun stuff to the Silver IS300, and I need something to drive in the interim while I work on that, just in case. This thing is probably just going to get fixed and then sold after it has fulfilled its purpose, but for right now, I think we got a little bit of work ahead of us. That's the works. So I think the first step is probably going to be to take this bumper cover off, really kind of assess the damage. If you guys look over in this general region, it doesn't look like the actual bumper support was touched in the accident at all. So realistically, like, most of the frame seems like it's probably fine. I think we can probably get away with replacing the core support and kind of the stuff up front that got hit. But we'll see how deep this damage goes. It ripped the belt off of the drive system, so we've got no power steering, no alternator, none of that kind of stuff. Realistically, this thing still runs, just probably wouldn't run for very long. So let's start taking some stuff off and see what's kind of underneath. So I'm at a bit of a stopping point right now with stuff just being taken off. You can see I got both of the headlights out. The right one was quite a bit of a struggle compared to the left one. This one was like just sandwiched in, so I had to like pull a bunch of this stuff off. One of the main things that's stopping me is that I'm currently using the top of a trash can to drain coolant into, and I probably need something bigger because there's still a little bit left in the system and I'm running out of room. So I'm gonna go to the store and grab something for that, but we can take a quick little look around this thing. You can see just how chooched the radiator is, just destroyed. In here, the drive system, of course, no drive belt, no nothing. It looks like we have all the pretty normal leaks that IS300s usually come with. So I'm probably going to go ahead and take care of all of that. I'll do timing belt, water pump, all the seals, and like valve cover, spark plugs. Just get this thing pretty much running like new. And then I need to find replacements for all of these parts, but that's not a huge deal. I can probably find something like that on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. The core support is going to have to be replaced. I think I can still order that, so that's not really too big of a deal. All of these lines are pretty bent, so I'm going to have to do that. But let's take a look at the rest of the car. This thing is actually like not bad. If we look inside the dash, pretty clean, not super sticky. You can see it's like, it's nice. It's honestly nicer than the dash in my car, in my silver car. It's already got a head unit in there. It's an Apple CarPlay head unit, which is nice. We've got, normal back seats. Nothing bad about that. This thing did come with a 10-inch sub in the back, so that's kind of interesting. But I mean, like, yeah, if we take a look at this thing, it's like pretty clean. Aside from the front, that's like the only damage on this thing. Like, honestly, I think that this paint, if we gave it a good wash and a good detail, it would shine right up and the car would just be like a nice stock IS300. I don't know if I would leave it like that if it was me, but also it's not going to be my car. It's going to be a daily for the daily for a little bit, and then my other daily will take over. But I think that we can get this thing to be like an actual like good car. And I got it so cheap that honestly, I think we can make some good money on it too. So let's get to the parts store. Let's get some drain buckets. I might have to go grab some jack stands to get this thing up so that I can do the rest of the work that I need to on the bottom. But honestly, this has taken like half an hour and it's promising. It's looking good. All right, I'm back from Bato Zone. We got our drains. Let's get this thing finished up. I'm not sponsored, but if they want to give me a jet, you know, I'm here. I'm waiting. She got a little chooched. Not great. So with that, we have basically all of the broken stuff off of the front of this car. As you guys can see, these little core support wings still bent. I'll probably get those things cut off. It'll probably take like a spot weld cutter to do that, but then we'll be able to just weld the new core support back on. Now that we can get a little bit of a look of the engine, we can see kind of what we have going on here. Power steering pulley looks good. This guy looks like it's rotating super wonky, so I may need to replace the clutch on this thing. I'm gonna try just replacing the clutch. Hopefully I won't have to do the whole compressor, but we'll see if I can get just a clutch for this thing. That thing is noisy as hell. That's pretty bad. Water pump doesn't necessarily feel too bad. Alternator doesn't necessarily feel bad. You can see we've got some pretty crazy damage to these front covers. So I'm probably going to replace both of these upper and lower covers just because these are pretty cheap and easy to get from Toyota. Aside from that, I mean, like oil leaks and all that kind of stuff aside, basically this thing is in pretty okay condition. This is kind of interesting. We're missing a mount for the sway bar on this side. So this guy is just like doing nothing. Luckily I did keep my mounts for my sway bar on the Silver IS, so I'll be able to just transfer those onto this one and get this thing actually bolted in where it's supposed to. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of cleaning up and this thing should be mint. Now this may seem like a lot of work, but you know, at this point I feel like Brian from the Fast and Furious when he brings home the Supra. Pop the hood, come on. 2JZ, no shit. This thing will decimate all after about, hopefully not 10K in overnight parts from Japan, hopefully no parts from Japan, but it'll probably be like $1,000. $1,000 I think I can put into this thing with like some used parts and like maybe some new stuff for like the maintenance items. But other than that, I mean, this thing will be ripping pretty soon. See, the nice thing about this is that like this is one of the easy projects. Like, although it's like a lot of stuff, but this is like what I know. You know, like I'm not like re-engineering any stupid stuff. Like that's what takes so long on my other builds. This is just nuts and bolts. This will be done within the week. Like I'm literally gonna order parts. By the time they get here, I'll be able to put them all on, have this thing driving, and it'll be an amazing car. Honestly, it'll be great. So I don't know about y'all, but I think this was a pretty good purchase. I think that there's definitely a good amount of margin for us to make a little bit of money on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna probably start ordering parts for this thing now so that I can start getting it put back together and we can get on to the real fun stuff on the Silver IS. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.